Good Monday morning. It is 9:05 here on the East Coast. My name is meteorologist Craig Moeller. I work here at 13 News Now in Norfolk, Virginia. If you're from the Hampton Roads area, you've probably seen me here before. I've been working in the market since 1997. Been at this game quite a while, but this weather desk is always focused on the top weather stories from not only Hampton Roads, but from across the country and around the world when the stories are big. And that's the case today. We've got a lot of really interesting stuff to dive into. So here are our topics. First, we're going to jump in with a California wildfire update. The fires are now more manageable. They've done some really good things to help control the fires a little bit, and Mother Nature has provided some help as well. But there's a new concern that is going to loom as we go over the next day or two. I'll explain what that is, and we'll talk more about it. A bomb cyclone hits Europe. It came in over the weekend, and they're still dealing with a lot of wind and a lot of rain across parts of Europe. We'll show you who's getting hit and who is likely to see more rain there, how some of the cleanup and recovery efforts are going so far. And then we're also going to talk about our pattern. It has shifted. We had a nice little bump in temperatures in the mid-Atlantic. The high yesterday in Norfolk up to 56 degrees. We're going to see temperatures slightly cooler today and tomorrow, but there are warmer days ahead for the eastern United States. So some good stuff to look forward to. I'm really excited to talk to you about that. Our first topic, though, we're going to come back out to California and these wildfires. You take a look here. I mentioned the pattern has been changing up, and now we're looking at rain and some snow for the higher elevations. This is a blessing, but it can also lead to problems. Out on the West Coast, firefighters in Southern California have been working to contain several of these wildfires. It's been going on now for over 3 weeks. They've made a lot of progress putting out the Eaton and Palisades fires, which have destroyed entire neighborhoods near Los Angeles. Now, as of this morning, the Palisades fire is now 90% contained, while the Eaton fire is 98% contained. So that one's just about out. Since those fires were first sparked January 7th, they've scorched a combined 37,000 acres and burned more than 16,000 structures all the way to the ground. 28 people have died. It's been just a tremendous situation. Now, this morning, wildfires are they're no longer the only threat to that region in Southern California. While the flames are under control, the region is getting this rain today, which we're talking about, which could cause mudslides. That's going to be the next big concern. Residents in the Palisades have been preparing by filling up sandbags while crews are securing hillsides with extra railings. ABC's Allison Kosick has a closer look at those measures and new evidence pointing to a possible cause for at least one of the wildfires.
This morning, the first significant rain in Southern California in months is triggering fears of flooding and mudslides like this. 4 vehicles stuck in the mud in Woodland Hills, and elsewhere mud forcing street closures.
They're trying to clear this road where this mudslide just came down. Thick mud. It is this worry as the rains are falling all the way up these canyon roads.
So we brought in extra crews to help with the debris flow or the risk of flooding.
This home surviving the Palisades fire last week, only to be split in half in a landslide.
These slopes have become fragile. The soil that is supporting your home have all become fragile and damaged, if you will, due to the events that we've had, even when it's not raining.
Kari Vons lost his home in the Eaton fire. He and his dad now relying on sandbags to protect his grandmother's house.
If we have water damage, that just adds another situation on top of already what we're going through.
Meanwhile, new clues on what may have started the massive Eaton fire, which left 17 people dead. The LA Times posting new video from a law firm that's suing power company Southern California Edison, claiming the fire may have ignited at a transmission tower. Moments after, flashes of blue and white light flared near the electrical equipment. The power company saying it's fully cooperating with the ongoing investigation. Southern California Edison has said it has no record of an electrical failure on lines in that area. As for the rain today, the worst of it is expected to end this morning. Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
I'm going to track the rain and show you more on that in just a moment. But this morning, with this first significant rain in Southern California in months, it is triggering the fears of flooding and mudslides like this. Those 4 vehicles stuck in the mud in Woodland Hills and elsewhere. Mud is forcing street closures. So Alex Stone, ABC's News, Topanga Canyon, California. They're taking a look at that. Again, this heavy rain continues to fall down. So what we're going to pick up right now, again, the mudslides, the big concern here. I want to show you some of the radar rainfall estimates from across the area. This is a live sweep right here. Again, showers out there just kind of hit and scattered across the area. So as we take a look here, again, not a lot of additional rain right now in downtown LA or down towards Long Beach, but you can see the rainfall over the last 12 hours really adding up over an inch there for northern parts of LA and then back over towards California City, some heavy amounts there. It doesn't take much to create the mudslides and the landslides, and that's what the big concern has been. Additional mudslides will be possible. The reason for this, we've got an area of low pressure spinning here, another one out extending from the secluded front. So this is going to continue to be unsettled as we go and we continue to monitor all of this. Again, the rain, a big concern. So this is going to move out later today. We can get into the future cast and show you how this winds down as we head into the late afternoon and evening hours. That's when they'll get the relief. But once that rain falls, what's already fallen and what continues to fall over the next few hours, takes a little bit of time for that to all settle down. So again, the mudslides and the flooding will continue to be a concern out there at least a bit longer. Things will improve after that. All right, we're next going to turn our attention to what's going on over in Europe. A bomb cyclone comes in. Again, Ireland getting hit back into, well, you can see the center of the cyclone approaching Galway, but it's really been Dublin that took a lot of this. Also parts of Scotland and back across the UK, they've been dealing with it. And look at the heavy rain rolling in across France. Let's take this full so we can get a good look at it. Again, this system continues to produce a lot of the issues that we've been seeing here with the wind and the rain. As we go this morning, we want to focus on this area across the pond. Europe still cleaning up from the damage left behind by this bomb cyclone over the weekend. This took, let's take a look at this aftermath from Dublin, Ireland. That storm left more than 1 million people in the UK without power. Emergency crews have been working around the clock to remove hundreds of trees blocking roadways and rail lines. Those trees were down by record-breaking winds. We're talking winds up around 114 miles per hour. Now, we know at least one person died. A man died after a tree fell on his car. In France, a storm system, the same kind of extending out from that bomb cyclone, a lot of the energy coming out, placing the northwestern part of that country underwater. This is a look at the aftermath near Normandy, and authorities are calling it the worst flooding they've seen in 4 decades. Winds there, gusts were clocked as high as 93 miles per hour. So again, Europe taking a real shot here with this. I can tell you, again, as we look at this, moving along, there will be some relief coming, but some additional rain for parts of France. And again, that area of low pressure tracking across Ireland, it will continue to sweep to the east-northeast. Now, the temperatures are not too bad as we take a look at this hour, and obviously this is Fahrenheit. They deal with Celsius over there. But for most of our audience here in the States watching, they've got temperatures in the 40s and 50s. So again, not too terribly cold, but with all that wind and the rain, it is a big mess and a lot of folks recovering in that section of Europe. We certainly wanted to keep you updated on that. All right, we're going to take a look at our next topic. And again, we've got Arctic air that has been in place over the eastern half of the country, and I want to talk to you right now about how the pattern is getting ready to change. We've got some exciting news in terms of the weather here in the eastern U.S. as we go forward, and again, we look for those longer range patterns to shift. We're seeing those signs. We made it up to 56 degrees yesterday in Norfolk, and a sign of things to come. So I'm going to head over to the big board and talk to to you about the month of January, what we've seen, and what is to come. And we'll take a look right now with the month. This is for Norfolk International. This is such a great snapshot of what has been happening throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. We've had just 4 days where temperatures have been above average. Most of the month of January has been really chilly. Look at all these days colored in blue, all indicating temperatures below average. Now, yesterday we made it to 56. It felt like it was springtime, and we were just a handful of degrees above average. It's just been so cold recently, you almost forget the way it should be across the Mid-Atlantic. Temperatures today are going to be near average in the low 50s and slightly warmer tomorrow. We get a big bump on Wednesday and then another little push of cool air. We should settle out with temperatures back above average on Friday, the last day of the month. So what does this mean? And again, we had a little bit of precip last week, but we're going to be dry for the most part until I think we get into the weekend. Friday into Saturday, good chances for rain. So we'll see those totals going up a little bit as well. What does this mean? Well, our temperatures, when you average them all for the month, we are well below average. And you can see, again, temperatures here, that looks really cold, but we're actually seeing this warmer surge relative to yesterday across the upper Midwest and certainly much warmer in the Southeast. You take a look at the temperatures early this morning, we were down into the lower to mid 30s. These temperatures pretty close to average, but we've been so cold for so long. Again, even average doesn't feel that terribly bad. Now, if you factor all the highs and all the lows from every single day through the month of January and you average them, the average temperature is 35.1. I actually put this graphic up in last Friday's weather desk, and through the weekend, our average is still 35.1. It just worked out that way. This is 7.2 degrees below average. We're going to continue to watch to see how we finish up January. But I got to tell you, putting in our forecast and averaging all the highs and lows, we're still expected to be around 35.9. So it will be a little warmer over these last handful of days here coming up. But we're going to finish about 6.4 degrees below average. And you might wonder where that ranks. Well, here are the top 10 coldest Januaries on record. Again, this was a story that I featured last week. But if you missed it, you're going to see our projected final for 2025, that 35.9, about a degree warmer than number 10 on the list of 10 coldest Januaries. Bottom line, this January 2025 has been very cold. We've been caught up for weeks in this pattern with the polar vortex slipping southward over the eastern U.S. and certainly giving us very cold conditions. It's the coldest it's been in quite a while for January here in the Mid-Atlantic. So what happens next? Well, our temperatures are projected to get up close to average, around 51 degrees. We started off with clouds. As we go into the afternoon, it's going to be partly to mostly sunny. So we do have that to look forward to. Now, beyond that, this is where it gets exciting. 53 tomorrow, 60 on Wednesday. Finally, a day where it really will be a lot warmer here in the Mid-Atlantic. It's going to fall a little bit on Thursday as a backdoor front kind of drops down into the region. And then Friday into Saturday, the temperatures do recover. Now, there's going to be another system that comes through. That's going to trigger some showers out ahead of it Friday night into Saturday. And then behind the system, it'll cool again on Sunday back into the upper 40s. But even that, really not, too dramatically cold. So with our temperatures kind of going up and down a little bit, again, the average temperature for the month of January will come up a little bit as we finish out January 2025. Notice next Monday, another bump and then a drop. But after this, we're going back up again, at least here in the Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast U.S. This is the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. The below normal cold conditions back across parts of Montana. I think about Whitefish, Montana. It's going to be super cold up there, cold across the central parts of Montana, back into parts of Wyoming, the Dakotas. It's going to be very cold. Meanwhile, all those folks that, go down to Florida, the snowbirds that head down that way over the winter, they had that super cold weather right across the panhandle pushing down into Florida. It's going to go back above normal. Florida will get to feeling like Florida again, and that warm air is going to build through the mid-Atlantic. So we do have this to look forward to. Again, those dates, February 4th through the 10th, and that is a big pattern shift from what we were looking at through all of January when we had that cold air in place. Big difference. All right. Now, as we take a look, I thought I'd have some fun with this. All right. We have the NFL forecast for the big game. If you watched last Friday, I had the games. We had 2 games, one in Philly, one in Kansas City. Said, the weather, gave details, kickoff, halftime, fourth quarter temperatures, what the wind conditions were like, the skies. It's 2 weeks out, the big game, Super Bowl, as Gronk put it, Super Bowl licks, L-I-X, right? Super Bowl 59, that is. Featuring the Chiefs and the Eagles, it's going to be a great showdown. Both fan bases are going nuts. Even though it's 2 weeks out, I've got your details on the game conditions. So let's take a look at that forecast for you here. All right, here we go. 2 weeks out, I have a lot of confidence that it is going to be dry during the game and the winds are going to be calm. The reason? Well, it's being played inside the Caesars Superdome. So, again, the Super Bowl forecast. I know Coach Payton, Sean Payton, used to keep it always at 70 degrees for games inside the Superdome. Kickoff, halftime, fourth quarter. Don't have to worry about rain. Don't have to worry about wind. And those temperatures might fluctuate a little bit. But the bottom line, those inside games are easy to make those forecasts for. All right, let's get back to the real outside forecast and what's happening across Hampton Roads. You can see this morning we had some clouds, a little bit of rain passing by down to the south. That's going to move along as we go through the afternoon. I expect more sunshine. Our normal high is around 51 degrees. We're going to be very close to that today. That's at 1 o'clock. Notice at 2, 3 o'clock, we should get up to 51. Chances for a few stray showers down to the south, down around the Albemarle Sound. It's been raining heavier south of our area. I think maybe a few stray showers, but that's it. Overnight, skies partly cloudy again, upper 30s to near 40 tomorrow morning. Not too bad at all. That's above average. And then temperatures tomorrow getting back up around 53, maybe 54 degrees. It's going to feel good out there with more sunshine through the afternoon. Now, if you want to get excited, look forward to Tuesday. To Wednesday rather. We're going to start off again upper 30s to low 40s, but those afternoon highs should get close to 60, maybe 61 degrees. It's going to feel awesome. You'll notice the winds do pick up from the west. We've got some gusts there about 25 miles per hour. And out on the water later tonight into tomorrow, we do have small craft advisories that'll be going up for our coastal waters. Here's what we have today across the south side. The temperatures will top out near 51 degrees. That's for Norfolk and Virginia Beach, 53 around Chesapeake. I mentioned that slight chance of a sprinkle down to the south. I don't think we'll see anything this far north, but there might be a couple passing showers into North Carolina. The concern was that there might be something off to the north. I said, it's too dry at the surface. Temperatures in the 40s to low 50s. Down across North Carolina, here's where we could see a couple of stray showers, and it will be a little cooler at the Outer Banks. Temperatures there in the mid-40s. All right, the forecast overnight tonight down around 36. Skies are going to be partly cloudy. These temperatures a little bit cooler. And then tomorrow back up to 53, mostly sunny. West winds about 10 to 15, and there are those gusts. The gusts will continue into our Wednesday as well, so it will be pretty breezy there. All right, as we take a look at the 7-day forecast, you see the bump in temperatures on Wednesday. We fall back a little bit on Thursday, back to 48. We'll be in the mid to upper 50s Friday and Saturday. Chances for showers. I do expect rain to develop late Friday into Saturday. The models all pointing to some rain. It's not that they're all in lockstep as far as the amount of rain or anything like that yet, but at least you'll know there are chances coming up late Friday into Saturday. You definitely want to stay tuned for more on that if you're around Hampton Roads. Our 13 News Now weather team will continue to watch it. After that, a little drop in temps on Sunday, and then temperatures climbing back as we get into early next week. All right, let's take a look at ways you can find me on social media. Facebook, Craig Moeller. Do the search there. Instagram, you'll find me on Craig Moeller TV. And on X, formerly Twitter, you can find me at 13 Craig Moeller. The best way to stay in touch with our forecast is by downloading our mobile app, the 13 News Now app. It is always free. It is always filled with great information on what's happening around Hampton Roads, our weather content. Anytime there are warnings or anything that you need to know about any of our special live coverage, you can get alerts to your phone and be able to tune in and check those out as well. Just scan that QR code right there on the screen and you can download the app, and then you'll have it with you on the go. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining us for today's Weather Desk. Again, the big stories: California, fortunately the wildfires now more under control, but the rain could trigger some mudslides and some flooding issues out there. Our news teams will be watching that, and we'll keep you updated on how things go out there in California. Then, of course, the European bomb cyclone. We've got more. We'll continue to watch that. That system really developed very, very rapidly and produced all the wind and the rain across parts of Europe. Hopefully, they'll recover nicely from that, and things will get back to normal. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on all the weather happenings every time you tune in, Monday through Friday, starting around 9 a.m. for the Weather Desk. Have a great day.